Thank you so much for joining me, Bethany. I'm so excited to have you here with me today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It is totally my honor to be with you. I am pumped to talk to your community, and I am going to totally take advantage of the mic because I want to tell everyone listening that I met Amanda about 8 years ago when she was a PT at some other practice. And I was a postpartum mom with a 1-year-old and a totally messed up pelvic area. And I will never forget how just kind and calming her energy was, and how generous she was with her time and her expertise. Y'all, let me tell you, because of her, I was able to have my second daughter and have sex again. And I will never forget that kindness. I will never forget that kindness. And of course, now we've become friends and she's one of my clients, and I've had the pleasure of coaching her whole team. So believe me when I say that her whole team cares so deeply for the women that they serve and their specific fields. So Amanda and her team are one of a kind, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here and know y'all.
Oh, thank you so much, Bethany. Well, I brought you here today so you can share with us your best year ever formula. And I am so excited for it. I would just like to dive right in and tell us what it
Yes.
is.
Okay, well, I do want to say that I have been working on this formula for many years. Of course, I got a lot of inspiration as well from my training to be a coach, but I definitely believe that following this formula has gotten me where I am today. Okay. I am living my dream life today. If you guys heard in the intro, I travel full time with my family. I mean, it is my personal dream life, but I was not always doing this well. I won't go into too much detail, but it wasn't too many years ago when I was home with a baby and I was not enjoying my life, and I woke up and I felt like crap every single day. I was cranky with my family. I was in an embarrassingly large amount of debt. I had several more pounds heavier than I am today. I just really felt bad about myself and my situation. So thankfully, I knew that I had potential to do better, so that growth mindset was key. And just taking 1 year at a time, one goal at a time. And again, like I said, honing this formula, I have turned my life around, and I really owe that transformation to this formula, so that I'm going to share with you guys. So I just wanted you to know that I have done this. I have done it consistently for years, and it works. Okay. So you can take notes if you want to, but I did want to mention that this formula is available on my website as a free downloadable PDF. So no stress if you don't have a paper and pen handy. Okay. So how to have your best year ever? First, let us remember that next year is not a guarantee. It is a gift. A lot of people didn't make it to the end of this year, and a lot of people aren't going to make it to the end of next year. So each year is a gift and another chance to appreciate and use the privileges and the opportunities that we've been given to better the world. I think really and truly thinking that way helps us. It's not just another year, it's another opportunity. It is a gift. So the quality of your year will be determined by how often you take action and how well you manage your time.
Amen.
Yeah. I was going to say finances are important, and Amanda knows if you're being coached by me, we are talking about finances. However, time is your most valuable resource. It is more valuable than money, because we can make more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we cannot make more time. And I wanted to say that I think one of the catalysts, excuse me, for me getting myself into gear and improving my life is that I was listening to a podcast and somebody said, if you only had 5 years left to live, how would you spend those years? And that, I know people do ask that here and there, but that just in that moment where I was in my life struck me so hard. And I remember thinking I would go travel the world with my kids, and look at me. And I did it. Like, whatever it is that you want to do in your life, let's get your butt into gear and let's start making it happen right now, because none of us know how many more years we have left,
Mhm.
So I think that thinking that way helps with our necessity and our urgency, and it really just, it can motivate. It's like one of those ways you can reconnect with your why and get yourself motivated if you are constantly thinking about this is a gift and not a guarantee,
Yeah.
Okay, so this formula is simple, but it is not easy.
I
You
love that in life. It's like, oh,
know, like, I'm gonna give you these three, I could give you these 3 points and you're like, oh, that's so simple. But oh my goodness, like really taking action and doing them consistently, which is key, is hard. It takes discipline and hard work. But I know I'm talking to a bunch of like mom bosses, amazing women, so I know you guys can do it. Okay, you got to do the work. You got to take the action. And if you do, I promise, my lawyer probably would say, not that I have one, but my lawyer would say, you can say that, but I promise you will crush your goals. Okay. And if you follow this formula multiple years in a row, you will live the life of your dreams and you will exceed your expectations for what is possible. Every year I make these goals, and most of the time I hit a lot of them by 6 months. And I'm like, man, I don't learn how to like dream bigger.
I feel like I didn't gauge that well. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing you must do is get clear on your goals, right? You can't have the best year ever. You can't get there. You can't grow if you don't even know where you're going, right? So that's the first thing. And it seems like simple, like, oh yeah, I'll just sit down and be like, make a bunch of New Year's resolutions. Okay, I'm not talking about resolutions. I am talking about a clear direction with an actionable plan. You got to sit down with yourself alone, reflect, dream, plan it out, schedule it in your calendar. You got to do it like you're serious, like a boss. Okay.
And I just have to say that I think is the biggest thing, especially when we're moms, is scheduling it. Is really, guys, we have to actually put it on the calendar, talk to your partner and say, when can I make this happen? I need a few hours to myself, because what I find is if I don't do that, and then it's when the stars align and everyone's asleep, and then you're not your best self. Your brain is, and you're just like, I'm done. I don't want to think about finances, or I don't want to, even if it's something you perceive would be fun, if you're tired, it just isn't going to happen. So.
Yes, exactly. And I do talk more about scheduling a little later too, but I was going to tell you guys that for me personally, New Year's Eve, New Year prep is more fun to me than Christmas. I look forward to it so much.
I'm not
And
surprised.
and because of that, like, I take New Year's so seriously that I have a whole routine that I do. And it's extensive and I take it seriously. I love it. It's so much fun. So my point is that I typed that out and I put it in an epic New Year prep guide. Okay. And this is not like a one pager. Okay. So I've got the routine that I go through in the guide, but then I also have a whole sheet on goal setting to make sure that it is an awesome goal that you can actually, accomplish and is good for you, a whole thing on just goals. And then I also have additional like bonus tips, and I have a bunch of reflecting and journaling prompts and questions. So it is for reals, and you have got to get your hands on it. I'm just letting you know that it is another free downloadable document on my website. So you have to go to my website to get that New Year prep guide. Even if you already set some goals, you could just go and look at it and like scan it or look at it and say, is there anything you left out? Like, is there any way that you could up level the goals you already have made? And if you haven't sat down to think about, who do you want to be, at the end of next year, well, I guess when this posts, I think it'll be this year.
Yeah.
But my point is, if you haven't thought about that yet, go get this PDF, print it out and do it. And it will be so just energizing and exciting. You will love it. Okay. So that is step one, get clear on your goals. Step two, this is another one. You guys are gonna be like, oh my gosh, Jan, I've heard this 1,000 times. You guys, you must ensure your health and energy. It is vital. And I know what you're thinking. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be healthy. When you feel terrible or exhausted or in pain, then you are living in survival mode. And that is no way to live. You can't thrive in that condition. You can't be the best mom that you know you can be. You can't be the best business owner. You can't be the best anything when you are in that zone of just neglecting yourself. So I've written out some, like in that document, the best year ever that you can get on my website, I wrote down like, sleep and a lot of things you can do to up level your sleep hygiene. I talk about exercise because some moms struggle. A lot of moms struggle with the exercise component.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And I feel like part of the problem is that exercise, it's like pounded into our heads. And common knowledge, it's not always common practice. And what I want to challenge you, moms or women or whoever is listening, to make common knowledge what you already know you should be doing. Common practice, what you are actually doing. Stop knowing you should be doing it and not actually doing it.
And so how do you suggest, like, how do they get from that knowing to doing? I know what you're going to say. I think I know what you're going to say.
Well, I have a lot of things. I mean, for me, obviously it's have the plan
Right.
Side ahead of time during a reserve time. What are you going to do? When are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it with your kids, or make sure that they're taken care of by someone else at that time?
Mm-hmm.
You get bored easily. You need to have a plan for switching it up. Maybe you need to make it social. Money is no excuse because it don't cost a dime. Okay. Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing. Many moms are very serious about their kids' safety. Mm-hmm. Like it is a dark line in the sand. You don't drive unless that kid is buckled up in that seatbelt. A lot of you are not going to let your kid get on a bicycle without a helmet. You're like super on that. It is a law. Well, believe it or not, you could make your exercise time just as sacred, just as serious. You can. Mm-hmm. Have to decide it is a priority, and you plan ahead and you're prepared for it. Listen, I have my tennis shoes, my socks, my sports bra, my outfit laid out the night before. And I know what I'm going to do, where I'm going to do it, how I'm going to do it before I wake up the next morning. Mm-hmm. That's what you have to do. Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's that forethought. It's that not reactive mode. It's the planning ahead. That's so key and so hard to do when you're in that reactive space, right?
Yes, you have to take care of yourself. You have to treat yourself like you are a friend that you actually care about, that you want to do well, that you want to give yourself energy. For me to exercise, it's for long-term health, but it's also for daily energy. If you are getting a full night's sleep and you are exercising, you're like moving your body regularly and you're drinking enough water, I am telling you, you will have so much energy. Do you see my energy? I don't drink coffee. I ain't had any coffee today. Okay. You get sleep, you drink a lot of water, and you move your body, and you will and you know what helps? Talking about stuff and doing stuff that you love. Mm-hmm. You will just have energy. It's shocking. It's shocking how much energy, especially also the drinking water, which I'll get to in a minute. Okay. So ensuring your health and energy, you deserve it. Your kids deserve it. And in order for you to accomplish your goals, you must wake up in the morning feeling rested and have energy to actually execute on them, right?
Mhm.
Okay, sleep, exercise, diet, y'all, no fried, get off the fried foods, eat more whole foods. I've got, specifics in the document, and I added water to diet. You have to have the water. In case you don't know, half of your weight in ounces every day. So if you're 150 pounds, you're going to drink 75 ounces of water every day. And I have found that what really helps is to have the water. This is going to shock her. Prepare the night before. Have the water by your nightstand. Get your water bottle. Have it by your nightstand full of the water all ready to go. And when you wake up, sure, you can go pee first, but then right after that, drink as much as you can. Like drink 16 ounces. Just guzzle that water because your body's been going without all night long. And that is like, it's a shot of espresso. Just you guzzle that 16 ounces. And I have also found that when you drink a lot at the very beginning of the day, you feel thirstier throughout the day, and it just makes you like want to drink more. And it just makes it easier to get through all those ounces you need to drink. Okay. So you got sleep, you got exercise, you got diet. And another thing that I put under sort of health and energy is connection. I do think that this is important. You need to connect with yourself, like through a mindfulness practice, or you can use meditation if you want, or journaling. I mean, I say at minimum do journaling and then add meditation if you want to, or some kind of mindfulness practice. If you are religious, then do like a devotions and a prayer thing. Like that's great. And for those of you who don't journal and have never journaled, or you said you tried it and it didn't work for you, I believe you. And I respect that. However, there are gratitude journals, there are question and answer journals, there are 5-minute journals, morning pages. There are so many kinds of journals. I have trouble believing that none of them would work for you.
Mhm.
So I say find the one that works for you and do the research on it and start journaling. There's so much research about how many benefits there are from it. It's ridiculous. Okay. So connect with yourself, connect socially with friends and groups that uplift and support you.
Mhm.
This is so important. You are not alone. You're not alone. There are so many people going through whatever it is that you're going through. Find your tribe. Find the people who are already doing what you want to do and they're ahead of you, or they're doing it better. Be friends with them, consult with them, talk to them, like learn from them, let them uplift you and support you, because that will just take you so far when you're feeling down, when things get tough. You've got to have that social connection. I mean, my friends are so vital. They're so inspiring. I definitely put that up there on a must. And then I put, connection with either a therapist or a coach. Now, I put this last because can you survive without a therapist or a coach? Yes. But some people, need a therapist. If you are really in distress and you're having trouble getting through your day and you're healing from some trauma, obviously you need to connect with a therapist. Now, if you've done well for yourself, but you're just feeling stuck, or you feel like you're ready to move to the next level, you're ready to just get it done faster and smarter, then you hire a coach. But I do think that connecting with a professional can be so therapeutic. Like even if it's a coach, it's therapeutic, just connecting with people. Okay. So we know all these are important, yet how often do we ignore them? And we look for answers everywhere. I can't tell you how many times I hear people, and they're my clients, they come in, they're like, oh, like I feel awful. I've got this ache and this problem and I'm exhausted and I don't have time for anything because I got to go to this doctor's appointment and that doctor's appointment. And I don't need money because all the doctors are so expensive. And I will just say, are you getting sleep? And they're like, no. Are you moving your body? No. How's your diet? It's trashy. And I'm like, well, let's just start there. Okay. It's free. It's free to work on your sleep, your exercise, you're buying food anyways, you know. So let's work on that, and you probably will feel better. You won't have to go to the doctor as often. You could save money on those bills. I really do think that people need to put a higher priority on the things they already know they should be doing. Anyways,
Yes.
okay. Yes. It's the small, consistent daily habits that really move the needle. Okay.
And I like what you said too with like prioritizing. It's like we know we need to exercise to be strong and for cardiovascular benefits and all these things. But I love what you said about it's going to give you energy. Because I think people
Yes.
think that it's going to take time, potentially money if you have a gym membership or whatever, which is not necessary. And it's going to it just, I'm working out. It's going to expend energy, but I love that you really highlighted that no, it actually does bring you energy. When you do more than what you have to do in your day to get by, like you have more energy, so you have more strength than what your daily requirement is, and it just ups that level, and you get through your day so much easier. I
Yes.
absolutely agree.
Yes, I used to have all kinds of back problems. Oh, my back always hurt. Everything I did hurt my back. And then I started working out and strengthening my core. And now I can't even tell you the last time I had a back issue. And I move my entire life, everything I own, like once a month. And I don't have any back pain.
You
But
know
I
what
was,
else helps your back pain? Having a pelvic floor that's healthy too.
of course, of
Well,
course.
don't realize that back pain could be from a tight pelvic floor that has been unaddressed. So, yeah.
Well, and you fixed that for me for sure. But I was
Yeah.
going to say, I didn't mention this in here, like going to see like a physical, pelvic health. Excuse me, I'm just fumbling on my words. But going to specialists and being seen to up level your health is definitely recommended. This whole ensuring your health and energy is like basics. Do this, and then you could also be doing more. But at the very least, get your sleep, your exercise, and your diet on check. But if you do work out and you feel that it did sap your energy for the day, that just means that you worked out too hard. You just worked out too hard. You're supposed to work out. You're supposed to get your body, your heart rate up and sweat a little, but you're not supposed to work out to the extent that you're done for the rest of the day. So I did just want to say I have done that before. But that was too much. Okay. So we're gonna move on, if you don't mind, Amanda.
Mhm.
We're gonna move on to the third thing. And this is going to be the new one. Okay. You've probably heard get clear on your goals. You've heard stay healthy so you have the energy to get things done. But this third thing, you're probably not doing. I would guess. And that is scheduled planning days. This is how you ensure that the work gets done and you don't get distracted or discouraged. Scheduling recurring meetings with yourself and always showing up to those meetings as your best self. Okay, this is a game changer. Okay, guys? You know where you're going. You got the energy to get there. But now, to be consistent on those goals through the whole year, you have to revisit the goals, reassess the plan, schedule out your weeks, make sure you've got parts of those goals in certain days, certain weeks, scheduled, set in stone, and then you show up. So I suggest you have monthly and quarterly meetings to reflect on the past month or quarter, revisit and assess your goals, make sure that your plan and your schedule, are still in line with everything that you brainstormed at the beginning of the year. But the biggest ones to me are the weekly meetings. Block off the same chunk of time every week to be your weekly planning time. Mine is Friday afternoons. I picked Friday afternoons because I'm never doing anything super productive on Friday afternoons. I found that, it's usually when I'm going to watch TV. My kids are usually watching extra TV. And I thought this is the time I can use to plan out my week. So you have to pick the time that's best for you, obviously. But my point is, and you try a time. If it doesn't work, switch it. You got to be ready to pivot and reassess. But during this block, you're going to revisit your goals and your priorities. You're going to schedule out your next steps in your calendar for the next week. Now, I go into this way hardcore in one of my programs, my productivity transformation program. But let me just say to you quickly, if the idea of scheduling out your whole week is too much for you, too overwhelming, don't worry about that. To have your best year ever, to accomplish your goals, just figure out what 1 or 2, depending on the goals, things that you can do next week, and you schedule those. So maybe your whole week isn't totally scheduled out like mine. Maybe you don't have it all, but definitely have sacred appointments where you're going to work on this goal, this chunk of that goal. That is, or maybe if your goal is like a health goal, like a working out goal, then on your planning day, you figure out when you're going to work out. Maybe you don't know what you're doing all day, every day, but you know when your workouts are going to be that next week. You got to just really get serious about putting it in a calendar, get serious about checking your calendar and showing up for yourself in the same way that you do other people in your life. I mean, you probably don't flake out, with your other friends and family or colleagues. So don't do it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
As the daily practice, that's just checking your calendar and following what it is and respecting like what you said you were going to do. Sometimes it's like you do it whether you feel like it or not. This is the biggest thing. I think people see and they're like, oh, but I don't feel like doing that today. Too freaking bad. You said you were going to do that. And if you don't keep that appointment, then you're going to stop trusting yourself and you're not going to be able to rely on yourself. And then you're going to stop trying because you can't rely on yourself to get it done. So we have to prove to ourselves that we're reliable, that we can count on ourselves to get things done, so that when that planning person plans it out, they have taken that time out to do that, and they expect you to show up, even if you don't feel like it. And then when that person sees it on the calendar, oh, today, that's right, I got to work on that. Even if they don't feel like it, they're going to respect that planning person and get it done. And respect their future self who's counting on them to do it, whether they feel like it or not. You got to have a good relationship with yourself. So the other thing that I like to teach my clients is to have check-ins throughout the day. And this is just a couple of seconds, and this doesn't involve anything formal. It's just pausing throughout the day, whether that's standing still or sitting down. I like to put my hand on my heart, but you could do your stomach. You could just hold yourself. You could put your hands down, whatever is comfortable. And you take some deep breaths. Breathing through your nose, and just notice and observe like your feelings and your surroundings. It goes like this. Okay, this is just an example. I'm sitting in the kitchen. I see the dirty dishes. That makes me stressed out because I have to do this other thing. But I have my feet on the floor, sitting in this chair. So you're observing how you're feeling in your surroundings. And then you give yourself some kind talk, like, you can do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. It's going to be okay. You have what it takes. Take some deep breaths, and then you can move on. But I think that it's important to not just go throughout the day without having pauses. Now, I will pause if I start feeling my heart rate going up, like I feel like I'm about to get stressed or something. But I also do almost like proactive or preempting pauses during transitions. So I'm alone a little bit in the morning, and then my kids wake up. So I'll do a transition, like a breathing exercise before then. And then like if I was going to pick my kids up from school, then I would sort of have that moment and pause after work before picking up my kids up from school or something like that. And do that throughout the day, whenever your transitions are, or anytime you are thinking, wow, I'm really getting overwhelmed or annoyed or something. These are very important. And I think that they're very powerful, I guess I should say.
Mhm.
So, okay. So that's the 3 things you need to do to have your best year ever. You got to know where you're going. You got to maintain your health and energy so that you can get it done. And you need to have scheduled planning days, monthly, weekly, and then your daily practice of, respecting those plans and checking in with yourself throughout the day. Those habits, those actions, they are so powerful when they are done consistently.
Mm-hmm. I can't thank you enough. I totally agree. And I love everything that you said. I've loved working with you, so you know that. And working with my team, I've super appreciated that. And I want to honor your time, but I can't thank you enough today. This is amazing. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, well, I'm not really not that good at writing goals, or how do I schedule my time? Like, how do I do these things? Because I will be honest, like that was not my strong suit. And I remember something you said, Bethany, you're like, wow, how have you gotten this far without, scheduling and doing all the things that like I'm teaching you
I
now?
was like,
I know. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, so guys, it is a game changer. Like, you've got to get your hands on this thing. So if you're wondering, how do I do this? How do I actually do this? Bethany, tell us where they can find you, where they can learn more from you and get to work alongside you, if that is good.
Okay. So I do have 3 different programs. I have a 28-day productivity transformation, which is a 4-week intensive where you learn more about how to organize your time and so you can be more productive and focused. I have a You Are Worthy life coaching. That's like a 4-week package. And then I also have my amazing, the one you took, high performance coaching 12-week program for those moms who are serious about up-leveling their whole life. Okay. And you can read all about those and the details and what high performance coaching even is on my website, which is beyourbestwithbethany.com. And any of you listening can always contact me with any kind of questions. I have a form on my website, super easy. But okay, there's more. I am really excited to tell you that just for the month of January, I am giving away some free stuff. So if you go to my website, you can get your New Year prep guide, which goes into those goals, by the way, how to do that. And your best year ever formula, which, is more details on what I just talked about today. And you can get a chance to be coached live because I am hosting 2 free coaching calls on New Year goals. So you can apply to be coached by me or just be an attendee if you're like, I don't want to be coached live. But also, if you are thinking, I ain't got time for that, don't worry. You can get a recording sent to you and then you can watch it whenever you want. You can speed it up. We all do it. So I believe that the universe has led you to this podcast so that you could find out about my guide. So your future self, I can see her. She is crossing her fingers, hoping that you will go to my website and download that guide because she is waiting for you to learn how to create your best life with your best self, feeling just as good as it gets. So,
yes. You guys, and she really does have this energy like nonstop all day, every day. It's amazing. And she's just you are such an inspiration to me, Bethany. And I'm so grateful for our friendship now and, the bond that we have grown in, years and years. So I love having you in my life and I love having you in my podcast. Thank you. I will have to have you back. So I'm
love to come back.
Yeah, we can talk for days. So thank you for sharing your light with the world and with my listeners. Yeah, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. You guys have a great day. Bye.
Do you ever wish that you could learn the essentials of pelvic health from an experienced pelvic floor physical therapist at a fraction of the cost and from the comfort of your own home? This episode is sponsored by Progressive Pelvic Education, your source for online courses to expand your pelvic health knowledge and promote optimal wellness. Pelvic health is wealth, And there is a lot of essential information about our pelvic floor that isn't taught in school. Learn what to do and not to do to avoid the inconvenience and pain of pelvic floor issues in a self-paced course you can take anywhere. Visit progressivepelviceducation.com to get access today.